This is Expound, expanding your knowledge of the truth of God by explaining the Word of God in a way that is interactive, enjoyable, and congregational.
Hi, this is former Congressman Bill Redmond. We're here in Santa Fe today at the Capitol, and currently we're in the Senate right now. And today we're going to be interviewing both senators and members of the House of Representatives here in Santa Fe to determine their knowledge regarding the Ten Commandments. We're going to have simple questions regarding the Ten Commandments, such as how many of the 10 do they know? Do they know that there's a medallion of Moses in the U.S. House of Representatives that identifies Moses as the basis of law in America? But today we're going to find out what the extent of the knowledge is of our senators and representatives right here in Santa Fe. Stay tuned and join with us, and let's see what happens. I'm going to show you a photograph here, and this is a photograph, and of course it says Moses right there. And this particular bas relief is in the U.S. House of Representatives. So when the Speaker is standing in the chair at the U.S. House of Representatives with the flag immediately behind and looks across the House of Representatives, here is this bas relief of Moses staring back at the Speaker of the House. Were you aware that Moses was in the U.S. House of Representatives?
No, sir, I was not.
Okay, all right.
I've never been there. Never had the pleasure of being there. So.
Oh, okay, okay. Did you know that that was there in Washington?
I did not, and I've been there, and I guess I'd never seen it, but
yeah.
Why didn't they write the Ten Commandments right below that? You know, so keep reminding us, you know, of what he was representing.
What he was representing. What he was representing.
No, I never did. In fact, just now is the first time I learned about that. I had never seen it or heard about that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's interesting, and that's good to know.
Yeah,
I absolutely was aware of that.
okay, okay.
And greater than that, Moses' relief is the only one facing forward. All the other reliefs in the House chambers are profiles, which gives some actual extra credibility to Moses as a lawgiver and speaks well for our nation's history as a Christian nation in the forming of our laws.
Now, of course, we know that American law originally was based in the Ten Commandments. Do you think that there's a role for the Ten Commandments in American law today?
Well, absolutely. You know, all the legislation that we pass, you know, is based in one form or another based on the Ten Commandments.
You know, I believe that they are the base of our Constitution. Therefore, they still have to be included in whatever we're doing.
I mean, I think that's a sort of a hard question because we also have the question of the separation between the church and state. But I think that, you know, if you're talking about moral issues, I think that a lot of us really look to our religion in terms of, you know, how we, you know, think about issues on the floor of the House, for example.
Personally, I think it's very important that the Ten Commandments play in the law and the decisions that we make on a daily basis, not just in our homes, but also for the general public.
In your opinion, why does government exist?
Well, I think in any civil society, we have to have laws and rules. And, you know, if left to their own devices, I think it's basic human nature that we're not very good at self-government. So I think government, when it works properly, especially in democratic forms of government, it has been beneficial to all different societies.
Well, government has a limited role, and that role is to provide laws that would help us, you know, live our lives in the best possible way.
I think the whole purpose of government is to serve the people of this state, first of all, then of the country, of course, and not to go beyond that.
Government exists, one, like I said before, government is there to provide for the people. Government is there to make laws so that life is not chaotic.
The purpose of government today really is to take care of the disadvantaged, those that don't have a voice. And that's why I've been here, to help those kind of people.
Okay.
The poor, the hungry, the homeless.
Well, I think the Declaration of Independence says that we have the right to self-govern, and that's because God has given us the right as individuals to establish our own form of self-government. And I think that comes out of the concept that all men are created equal. Now, if we're created, that means that there's a creator. We're created equal and endowed by that creator with certain rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what government is designed to protect and to ensure that everyone has those rights.
Can you name the 10 Commandments?
You know, I probably could, but not in order, and I'm not going to do it on tape.
Okay.
Shall have no gods before me. Worship no false idols. I'm probably not going to get all 10 of them.
Terminology's good.
Thou shalt not kill. Something about your neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. I don't remember anymore.
How many of the 10 Commandments can you call to mind right now?
I think I can call 10 if you give me about 10 seconds.
Okay, take your moment, because you'll ring the bell today.
Oh no, Al, you put me on the spot.
Well, wasn't that informative? You know, we learned a lot about those who are running our state, both good and bad there, didn't we? You know, what a great interview that was. My name's Nate. Welcome to Expound. This is Justin Marbury, joined with me. And Justin was a part of the crew that went up there to Santa Fe to record that video with Bill Redmond for the interviews that we just watched. And what a great perspective to have a God-fearing former representative of the House interviewing other representatives of the House. I wonder how they felt as Bill Redmond was asking him those questions. He's a great guy, had him at Renovate, and we sure do love him, don't we? Let's give him a big round of applause. We've got a couple of questions we want to ask Justin, being that he was on the ground, he was on the street level there as he witnessed those questions being asked. So first and foremost, tell us a little bit about the trip in general. You know, you had a great opportunity to witness that. I wish I could have seen that happen firsthand. You had some crazy answers that might not have been in there.
Oh, yeah.
As well as some that were there. So tell us a little bit about the trip in general.
Well, it was a lot of fun. It was an eye-opening experience. How many of you have been to the Capitol and been inside the rotunda? And okay, awesome. I know that Pastor Skip actually opened in prayer during the session this year. It was a long session, 60 days. And we went up on a Friday, and the session is supposed to start at 10 a.m. And Bill Redmond, Mr. Redmond, thought that our best chance of interviewing people would be to go while they have begun session, but before they start voting. And so we went up there. And there's the Senate and there's the House, right? House of Representatives. And we wanted to get an even kind of balanced perspective. We wanted to find some Democrats and some Republicans. And so we got out the paper that has every representative, every senator. And fortunately for us, I mean, Mr. Redmond was the right guy because he knew everybody and everybody knew him. The only problem was, because everybody knew him, he would get stopped every 5 minutes, and somebody would want to talk to him. So to get the 10 interviews or so that we got, it took literally hours all day. And I felt so bad for Brent, Wiley, and Isaac, who were carrying around the gear, because at one point they finally would sit down whenever he would start to talk to somebody and just take a break, because they knew it might be a few minutes. But it was really good. It was cool. If you haven't been up there, especially during session, it's a great time to see government at work. You can actually go there's a balcony where you can observe the voting and the proceedings and everything that goes on and see government in action.
You know, you said everyone knew him there. Did anyone see him coming with a video camera and questions to start running the other way?
You could tell that they wanted to, some of them. But he's very respected on both sides. And he's there quite a bit now. He works for Focus on the Family, and so he's still working with local senators and representatives, but in a different role.
You know, having done the street level videos before, I've had a chance to interview college students, to interview professors, to interview people who believe in UFOs, but I've never interviewed senators and representatives. Was that difficult interviewing this crowd of people?
It was. In general, again, because of Bill Redmond's understanding of the system, we were able to get access to these representatives and senators. he knew how to go up outside the chamber, and he just wrote a little note with his name on it, and then somebody would take that in to the senator or representative. They would see it's Bill Redmond, and then they would come out and to talk to him. I mean, that's the only way really that we got to talk to these people and interview them, because of him. In general, you'd have to call, make office hours, or you could possibly go up with some issue that you want to discuss with your senator or your representative, and they might have time to come out and talk to you. But it is difficult. And then just because you get them face to face doesn't mean they're going to want to be on camera. They have no idea what you're doing. Is this going to be on the news? You know, are you going to make me look like a fool? So again, they were really trusting his reputation as somebody who wouldn't do that to them.
That's so cool. What a great opportunity. You know, Mr. Redmond began each one of his interviews talking about these reliefs of Moses. And it's something I never knew about. It was a great little tidbit of information. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And
it's really cool.
What that all means?
I actually didn't know that. Something that I learned from Mr. Redmond at the same time. In Washington, D.C., in the House, which, as he described, if you think about the rotunda, and it's always the picture you see on the news where the camera is facing the Speaker of the House, right? And they sit up at their desk and with their gavel. What they actually look at right across from where they're sitting is Moses staring at them. And then surrounding Moses on either side of him are all other great lawgivers of all time, but they don't face the Speaker of the House, they face Moses. In essence saying, we all bow to the law and we see the law of Moses as supreme. And then Moses looks at the Speaker of the House, reminding him in essence, you are to remember what the basis of our law is, and it supersedes this country or you or any particular group of representatives. So
we talk about peer pressure. What great peer pressure to have.
That's
the
right.
real law judging
That's right.
the modern law. What a great concept. The last question that Mr. Redmond asked was, can you name the 10 Commandments? And we didn't see a whole lot about that in the video, and they didn't really fare so well, did they?
It was tough, you know, being put on the spot. Some of them tried. There were some who actually got as many as, I think, 8 was the most. Unfortunately, nobody got all of them, but you could imagine from the answers that you did see which ones got more than the others. Some of them answered with commandments that aren't even part of the 10.
What were some of those?
The best, the one that I remember was love your neighbor as yourself was one. The golden rule, right? Beyond that, some would almost everybody would get have no other gods before me. You know, that was pretty common. And then they would always miss the third one, right? Taking the name of the Lord in vain. Most of them would get murder. Quite a few would get murder. Weird thing, not many of them got lying. I don't know if there's something to that, but
interesting. Well, what a great interview, a lot of fun to see, exciting to see that incredible opportunity with Mr. Redmond.
It was cool.
And tonight we're going to get back into Exodus as we look at Exodus chapter 19, and we see Moses finally making it to Mount Sinai with the children of Israel to receive those great commandments, the 10 commandments. So tonight I pray and I hope that we can be the ones to recognize the perfection and the beauty of these 10 commandments as we look at Exodus chapter 19. But before that, why don't you stand up and greet one another and prepare to hear the teaching of God's word.